What's going on, everybody? This is Tony. Welcome you back to another episode of Tony's Keys. This is episode 3. In this video, I'm going to show you some key comics from my collection that my CLZ app handpicks. So let's roll that intro and we'll get started. What's going on, everybody? Like I said in the intro, I'm going to show off some keys for my comic collection. This is episode 3, and what I do is I let my app on my phone, my CLZ app, pick what books will be featured. So it's always interesting. The last 2 episodes have been pretty cool. If you're liking the content, like and subscribe and ring the bell for future notifications. And we'll get started with our first book. Okay, first book is from 1987. This is Uncanny X-Men, issue number 217. The lovely Dazzler on the cover and the Juggernaut. This is the issue where Dazzler officially joins the X-Men. It's a really cool book. I love I don't remember who did this cover, but that is a really nice Dazzler cover. If you don't own the book, you should pick it up. It's pretty good. Our next book on the list is from the Reign of the Supermen storyline. This is Action Comics, issue number 690. Like I said, it's part of the Reign of the Supermen storyline. When the 4 Supermen came up, I don't remember exactly. I believe Man of Steel was John Henry Irons. Action Comics was the Eradicator. And then I believe Superman was the Cyborg, and then the other one was Adventure Superman was the Kid. But in this issue, the last son of Krypton becomes the Eradicator. And that is the key significance for this issue. If you've never read Reign, I suggest you read Doomsday, Funeral for a Friend, and Reign of the Supermen. It's a pretty cool series. It was a really good story, and it was a very well produced story. As far as you can still find these in a dollar bin. So yeah, if you get a chance, pick them up, or you can buy the trades. It's up to you. The next book from 1993. This is part of the DC Vertigo imprint. This is the first issue of Death, the High Cost of Living. The key significance is that this is the first solo series featuring Death of the Endless. And I've forgotten so much about this book. I haven't read it in 30 years. I finally got the set just last year. It's a pretty awesome book, and Death has since then come to the main DCU, and I don't remember the number, but it was Action Comics, and I would love to pick that book up as well. Our next book on the list is from 2013. This is Thor, God of Thunder, issue number 5, and in this issue we get the origin of Gore the God Butcher. This whole God of Thunder series was really good. I believe it was Jason Aaron that wrote this, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this is one of the few Jason Aaron stories that I actually do enjoy. For me, he's kind of hit or miss, but that's just my opinion. But he really did knock it out of the park with this Thor series. And if you can get them, I'd pick up the whole series. I know there's some pricey keys, but they're well worth it. Alright, next up from 1995. It seems like this episode and the last couple, I've always had a Spawn book in here, so the trend continues. This is Spawn issue number 29. This is the first appearance of Eddie Frank. I've never read this book. I had it a long time ago and didn't read it, so I'll put this one on the list of books to read. I actually have the first 2 Spawn compendiums. I really need to just hammer down and start reading them, and I need to get the other compendiums as well, because I figure that'd probably be the best way I'll ever get the first 300 issues quickly. 1991, part of the volume 1 of the Spider-Man series that Todd McFarlane did. This is a Todd McFarlane issue as well. This is Spider-Man issue number 13. It's an iconic Todd McFarlane cover. You can see that it homages Spider-Man number 1, the part 1 of Torment. This is part 1 of Sub-City, and we see the return of the black and white costume. This is a really well drawn and well written story. Morbius shows up at the end. It's pretty awesome. I recommend you pick it up. Next book we have is from 1982, Marvel Comics. We have Captain America issue number 275. This is the first appearance of the second Baron Zemo, Helmut Zemo, the son of Heinrich. And he actually, this is his first appearance as Baron Zemo. I forgot what issue number it is, but he also appeared in an earlier, it's either Avengers or Captain America issue as the Phoenix. I think it was Cap. And I'll even go as far as saying I think it was 168. I don't know. But yeah, he appeared as a character called the Phoenix. This was the first time he took up the guise of Baron Zemo, and he's been that character ever since. It is a really cool story. Our next book comes to us in 1992. This is the very first Venom Limited series. This is Venom Lethal Protector issue number 1. This is the premiere issue and the first solo series featuring Eddie Brock's Venom. Pretty awesome. The story is really great. This is the issues. There's a series you see the Life Foundation shows up. I want to say it's the first appearance, but I may be wrong. That might be ASM. And the other symbiotes like Scream and whatnot, they make their first appearance later on in the series. Really great series. Eddie goes to San Francisco to try to restart his life as a hero, and he starts helping some homeless people that live underneath the city. It's a really good read. Like I said, you should pick it up. Hanging out in the 90s, we got another 90s book from the 90s X-Men series. This is X-Men issue number 4 and the first appearance of Omega Red. Cold War soldier that was put under. He comes back and wreaks havoc, and anybody that knows about X-Men comics, I can guarantee you they're a big fan of Omega Red. At one point in time there was some MCU hype. I think it's since died down, but who knows, maybe in the future we'll see Omega Red. But that's not the reason to pick this book up. This is a really great story. It was some really great Jim Lee artwork. That's the reason you should pick it up. Next up, from June of 1987, we get the Amazing Spider-Man annual issue number 21. And this is the wedding of Spider-Man, the marriage of Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson. I've got this one, and then I got this beautiful Shea Stadium gift set. You can get a cover of Mary Jane with Spider-Man, or you can get a cover of Mary Jane with Peter in his tux. Either one, doesn't matter. I believe the tux issue may be worth a little bit more. Not really clear on that, but it's a really great story. This is probably one of the very first Spider-Man stories I started reading. It's almost $2.92 was the first Amazing Spider-Man story I ever bought. When I started collecting, this was the next one. And it's a really good story. I learned a lot about Spider-Man by picking up and reading these books. And of course, you know, after the honeymoon was over with, you know what happened after that. That was Kraven's Last Hunt. But that's a story for another time. But yes, you should definitely pick up this book while you can. Alright, next up, another fine issue that shows the greatness and the legacy of the iconic George Perez. We have the first issue, Crisis on Infinite Earths. I talked about it a little bit in the last couple episodes. I mean, this is an iconic series. Perez was a legendary artist in just about anything he did. Doesn't matter. He put pen to paper, magic happened. But this was a really great series. I think he really stands out on this series. This issue pertaining to the Keys happens to be the first appearance of Ted Kord as the Blue Beetle, and the first appearance of Lila Michaels as the Harbinger. But this, if you've never, I've said it before and I'll say it again, if you've never read Crisis on Infinite Earths, either pick up the single issues or pick up the trade. You definitely will never be disappointed with this one. And the last book for this episode is another slab, but it's not an X-Men this time. This is a very low grade, but I don't care. I'll take it all day long. This is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 238. CBCS graded 2.0. First appearance of the Hobgoblin. It does have the tattoos. And what's cool when I picked this one up was my job does things where they give you rewards points, and at this time I amassed enough reward points where I got like a $125 eBay gift card. Picked this up off of eBay for about $100, and it was pretty cool. They said that they thought it was like a 1. They did it really low, and my buddy Greg cleaned and pressed it. It came back at a 2.0. It also said that when I originally got it, it said in the eBay lot, no tattoos. And my buddy called and said, "Hey, dude, I just thought I'd let you know it has tattoos." So this is pretty cool. This is an iconic character. You know, there's been hype about whether or not he'll end up in the MCU. I can't think of the kid's name that played Ned Leeds. But will he show up? Who knows? If you can afford to get a copy of this book, because it is a little pricey, or if you can't, they have a facsimile of this issue, and they reprinted it in Marvel Tales as well. So you'll be able to, or that's got to be in a collected edition somewhere. But this is a very good story. This one and its next issue, 239, both of those issues go together, and it's a really awesome story. So pick it up if you can. And that's going to do it for episode 3 of Tony's Keys. Hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed going through my collection and showing some of these books. I've actually been enjoying myself doing this. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And until next time, take it easy, be safe, and God bless. See you.